Greetings, trendsetters. Yasamika here from Being Human, and I've got a good one for you. People ask me questions quite often, and this is a real common question. It's one of my first questions when I first started this journey of awareness. This is one of the first questions I had for myself. I wanted to know, what is the difference between the spirit and the soul, or the Holy Spirit? The soul and the Holy Spirit are the same thing. So I'd travel around and I'd ask clairvoyants, mediums, ministers, priests, what's the difference between the spirit and the Holy Spirit or the soul? No one knew. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. What the heck is this? Because there must be a huge difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference between the spirit and the soul. This is Yelena. This is the third dimensional representation of you and I. This is the outside layer, which is the physical layer. Physical layer, conscious mind, third dimension. Third dimension, height, width, and depth. Cool. Thank you, Yelena. So, this being here, this layer is in the third dimension, so it's physical. The next layer in, this is the etheric layer. Now, if you ever see a ghost or a spirit or a spook or whatever you call them, perhaps in real or in a TV program or in the movies, this is the layer you see that all the propaganda out there is to make these things scary. But in actual fact, they're just the next layer in from our physical. Of course, when we pass over, physically pass over, this goes either back to Mother Earth, cremated, or whatever your belief system pertains to be correct to look after this part of your body. The spirit and everything inside of here never dies. It never goes away. It just changes and lives in another reality. So this is the beginning of the spirit. Now, this has got lots going on inside of it. Emotional body, which is connected to your emotions and feelings. Mental body, which is connected to your thoughts and how you think. The emotional body is connected to love and acceptance. The mental body is connected to power and structure. Okay? The emotional body is intangible. So you're unable to actually see or feel. Now you can feel it, but you're unable to see a person that walks past unless they're physically smiling or loving their bits or whatever it is, to actually see the emotion. This one's intangible. This one here is tangible. This one loves tangibility and it loves money. Okay, so this one deals in solid stuff. Inside of that, now we're going deeper and deeper inside our spirit. These two are actually exactly the same size. So if you kind of see them a bit like that, they're the same size. Now the next one in is your astral level. Now inside your astral level, this is where your subconscious ego lives with all the subconscious mind programs. Now this one, seeing it's further inside of us, it is more powerful than the mental body, the emotional body, and the etheric body. Okay? The further we go inside ourselves, the more powerful and pure we are. The subconscious ego is in charge of our spirit. So this is the physical mind and the physical body. In here, there is a veil right there. Some people can look through that veil. Some people are unable to. We go through. Now, from the veil, we've got our spiritual mind. And this is our spirit, all right? We go inside of our subconscious mind because we're always going further and further inside ourselves. This layer here tends to go further and further away from ourselves. Oh, good. Everything changes when you start doing this stuff. So anyway, we go inside of here, right? Here's the gold one. And have another veil, please. Can you still, yeah, there we go. That is the Holy Spirit. This is the Spirit. This is the Holy Spirit. The reason why it's the Holy Spirit is because it's got more light in here. And the reason why it has got more light is because inside everyone, we have a God spark, our God self, and is known as the Almighty I Am Presence, the I Am that I am. That there is our jewel of existence, and that pours forth all this phenomenal creative energy. It's illuminant, phenomenally illuminant. That is our God self, our Almighty I Am. Now that is the heart of our soul. So inside our soul down there has got this thing, and it's illuminating everything phenomenally. It makes everything holy, and the energy that comes from here is known as Christ energy. It has no thing to do with the dogma. It is just what in the Western world, this energy is, it's called Christ energy. It can be called source energy. It can be called anything. It's all the same thing. And it comes from here. So the difference between our Holy Spirit or soul, same thing, is because that is the soul is closer to our Almighty I Am Presence. And all that light coming from our Almighty I Am is known as unconditional. It's unconditional light. It's pouring forth. It's also known as the eternal cause. So it just makes stuff. It has no inkling or worry about any effect. It does not need effect. It is called the eternal cause, and that's it there. And that goes inside. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is inside our soul or Holy Spirit. So that makes the soul really different. The soul is often beyond words. Something will happen to a person and they will go, whoa, that's beyond words. That's just, they will normally say it's really out there, but in actual fact, it's, that's really in there. And instead of saying far out, we should really be saying far in. That is so cool because it's inside of us. It is not outside of us. It's whatever comes from that is far in. So there's your Holy Spirit and your soul. There's a veil because what actually happens is this golden reality is known as the golden way. This golden reality is sleeved inside our astral body. And that means it's sleeved inside our subconscious ego and our subconscious mind programs. From there, the energy is filtered because remember, we've still got this phenomenal Christ light here, or source energy. It's beaming forth, but it has to go through the subconscious ego and all our subconscious mind programs. Then the subconscious mind will go, okay, you need to be intelligent, you have to organize something, you have to budget, you have to organize how far it's going to take, do you have enough money for petrol, all this thing stuff. We need this stuff. We need the red and the blue. Trouble is, this one here hates sitting on the fence. So what it does, it either plays a red program or a blue program. Every now and again, you might get in the middle. When we meditate or calm our mind down, what actually happens is that goes in there. And when these two are perfectly balanced through calming our mind, the flip-top lid happens and out pops the subconscious. Out pops the soul or Holy Spirit, which is also known, by the way, as the super consciousness. It's massive. Then we put ourselves somewhere quietly so we can meditate, do something like that. You know, as soon as the light goes on, you open up your eyes, turn on the radio or open up the door, and all of a sudden the noise is coming in and you can see things. Next minute, the Holy Spirit is popped back in here and the subconscious ego takes over, because the subconscious ego is a good guy. It's here to make sure that we have the software to live in this third dimensional reality, because the spirit in the fourth dimension creates our physical journey in the third dimension. This is why the Aborigines call this the dream, because the dream is we dream in the fourth dimension. When you go into dream time, you head into the fourth dimension. Okay. Where were we? Okay, so what happens is that, okay, you have to engage your mental body. You have to think, how am I going to get a park? How am I going to do this? What do I have to think about for my job? Thinking's really big. So then all of a sudden it goes, wow, you can have a red time now. You can sit down, turn on the TV, grab the remote, get a beer or a gin or whatever it is, and you can actually have a non-productive time. Where's your eyeballs, mate? You can have a non-productive time and just an emotional time. So you can put your feet up. Whatever you do to throw a red reality, you might go to a movie. You know, it's just you're going to observe something and maybe have some emotions in a movie. It's non-productive, okay? You might go to the beach and go for a walk along the beach. It's non-productive, unless you pick up a bit of driftwood or something like that. I think I could carve something out of that. That means you just jumped out of your red and jumped into your blue because you're thinking about structure. And then so what happens is that this one is changing these all the time, depending on where you are. Like when you're at the beach, if you're programmed to have a red time, which means put out a towel, do a bit of sunbathing, enjoy the day, read a book, that's red time. If you go to the beach like me and you think, wow, income, because this one here is in charge of income. Righto, what do I need to do? I need to fish. What are the tides doing? What's the weather like? What's the wind doing? And that I go in here, and the last thing is I'm sitting down to relax. I'm busy. I have a mission, because blue people are always on a mission. I used to go fishing. People would come out fishing with me and they want to light a fire, and I would tell them, go over there and light the fire. They go, why? What's wrong? Don't you like fires? I said, listen, as soon as you light that fire, you're going to go warm and you're going to start relaxing. And the red mind does not make income, and therefore none of us are going to catch any fish because we're throwing a red. And of course, sometimes I might bring along a beer or something, and I'll say, hey, you can have that, because it's really important for me to sit on my bucket. No comfort there. It's really good, but I'm not in a reclining chair or anything like that. I'm sitting on a bucket and I'm catching fish. So that means I go to the beach, or used to go to the beach, bit more balanced now, thank God. Go to the beach and I throw a blue because I want to catch fish to provide the family or the neighbours or the next one, well, whoever it is with fish. I need to be blue. Other people go to the beach for a red reality. And all this in their spirit creates what's happening in the third dimension. So that is our spirit, and that is in the fourth dimension. The soul is up the top of the fourth dimension into the fifth and further. Where's my veil? So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the Almighty I Am presence, which is our jewel of existence, which is our God self, God spark, source energy. That's inside our Holy Spirit, shining all this brilliant light. Oh, good. That is, and then the blessed, that body there is encased or sleeved inside the astral body, mind programs and all that. That is put inside and controls our mental body and our emotional body. We had to put the skin on this thing. So there's an etheric body. So we pop it inside an etheric body. Take away that. And then this is the overcoat, right? The physical layer is the overcoat on this form. So however our etheric feels or looks determines how this looks. So if you're talking to someone and they bruise you with a remark and your spirit feels bruised, oh, that was a bit sore, oh, damn it. What actually happens within the next half hour or so, this layer is going to bruise itself because it has to. Because this is the overcoat for the conscious physical mind, is the conscious physical overcoat to the etheric spiritual skin. So when you start understanding that, if this person here walks into something, you know how you get out of bed in the middle of the night to visit the bathroom and you kick your blinking toe on the end of the bed? Well, what actually happens here is that you are not actually in your body because this part's out floating around and it goes, I need to have a wee. So like, got it. I physically have to jump back into my body and walk over there. So what happens is, to get you in your body, because this is still in shock, seeing this is in shock and it's trying to earth itself, to quicken the process, this part here will kick the leg of your bed or the chair as you're going past, just to make sure you're stuck on earth. Oh, God. So anyway, the etheric, which is, yeah, that's the skin of the ghost. Spirit, this is in spirit. Then we pop that inside of here. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Almighty I Am presence, thank you. Cheers. And that, and we walk around in here and seeing this body is run on 5 physical senses: the touch, feel, taste, smell, whatever it is, the feel thing. Here, this layer thinks that everything in life is all about what's happening out there, but in actual fact, it's more about, well, it's totally about what's happening in here, because in here creates this. So there's your spirit and your Holy Spirit or soul. Please always remember your soul and your Holy Spirit are the same thing. The only thing that changes it is the belief system and perception. Well, that was pretty cool. Thanks for the question, by the way. And if any of you have any questions, if I'm able to answer them and do a little bit of a dippy like this, I'm more than happy to do it. Okay. If you wish to learn how to clear your subconscious mind programs that are stuck in that astral ego thing, please, I'll leave a link at the bottom of this, and you'll be able, it will start you off from the very beginning. From the very beginning. I'm having a good day today. Just to show you what we're made up of, this type of thing, how to get into your mind programs and how to clear them. Most important. Okay, everyone. Well, have a spectacular day, and cheers.